how I got way back there? And I use braided line. I'm using a pretty light rod. I'm using a 610 medium heavy. Actually 6'8" medium heavy. Falcon low rider. I used to use a Daiwa Tatula, 7 foot heavy, which was one of my favorite frog rods I've ever had. I absolutely loved it. But I smacked the side of the troll motor with it and broke the rod tip. And I haven't really replaced it with a frog rod. Fish just hit it right there. There we go. So just come up and suck it under. Alright. There we go. Frog is in his mouth. There we go. So that's number 70 on this frog. And you can see this is supposed to be black. We're missing all the color underneath, pretty much. Got some of the color in the back. Resharpened hooks. So I feel like I need to touch that one up. And the biggest key to this is braided line, because it floats on the surface. When you're fishing in this grass like we are, you want your bait to stay on the surface as much as possible. But you also want your line to stay up on the surface. The biggest reason you want the line to stay up on the surface is because when you set the hook, as you can see, the line sits on the top. So when I set the hook on this top water bait, you get positive hook set power almost immediately, which is very good when fishing this heavier cover. And yes, this is really not thick grass or anything, but the way these frogs are designed, it sometimes can be really hard to set a hook on each fish. So wood duck, 2 of them. I've actually got quite a few ducks living in this lagoon, specifically wood ducks, but there's also a family of tree ducks that comes in and spends the summer and spring here with us, and fly further south when it gets colder. A little bit further, I'll show you how the skip cast really works. Hopefully we get the fish doing it. Another wood duck right there. Just hanging out. Alright, so as you can see, whoa, that's a big heron. We've got a lot of cover right here. We've got some overhanging trees. If you learn how to skip a frog, you can skip right up under these overhangs and get to these fish that other people can't get to. And present your bait in areas that other people can't. Now I know this little area right here, I'll have to skip my bait too. Constantly try to practice, even when there's minimal cover, just to make sure that I can keep my cast down. And every now and then you'll get hung on a tree. Not a big deal. You just skip it back up under again the next time. Biggest thing is, it takes a lot of practice. And it really helps on lakes that are pressured. I skip a lot, so these fish see it all. Most of these people, they can't fish no frog and stuff that I fish a frog in. So skipping a bait can be a difference between catching one fish or 30 fish. Sometimes the frog can be a really good technique, but it's basically the only technique that you can really fish through this stuff and have a high success rate without flipping. You know, flipping's a really good technique, but like, this is not really matted grass. It's just like a scum basically on the surface, and you know, there's fish under here, obviously, by the one I caught earlier. You just have to be able to fish them. And you can catch a lot of fish on the frog, but it's still fun. It's still fishing. If not, you'd be stuck fishing that same little area. See how well skipping does? Gets you up under the docks. Other people can't get up under there. I ain't catching on this time, but yeah, there's been a few times where I've caught fish under that dock doing that same thing. And there's been times that I've caught fish in other areas doing the same thing. One of the better fish that I've caught on this little lagoon, I actually was skipping in front of one of these trees. of them wasn't that smooth. Every now and then, you gotta check your frog, squeeze it, make sure there's no water in it. Normally that happens when you catch a few fish on it. Sometimes when you're skipping, you can do it too. The biggest thing is you gotta have momentum out in front, and then you gotta lift your rod right as it hits the water. That is the key to skipping. Momentum, and then lifting your rod at the right time. Go, we're way back there.